You want to keep your kids safe out there, especially with technology, not just cell phones and computers, but everything else. We've got some advice and help from our parenting expert. Nikki Bush has more.
With the kids on holiday, many will spend long hours online on their cell phones or on social media. So how can they protect themselves while using this technology?
Now, Nikki, it's inescapable. These days, social media, the broader internet has become part of our daily lives. But I guess people don't really see the dangers behind it because it's a computer screen that you're interacting with. So why the need to protect our kids?
All our children have access to the internet, whether it's through a computer or increasingly through a cell phone. So communication is going mobile. And during the school holidays, of course, children are spending way more time on a screen on one form or another. And connecting with other kids, with their mates, is a good thing. It's a way of socializing. But they do need to understand that there are also associated dangers that they might not be aware of.
And speaking of which, what are those dangers?
So children can really get up to mischief online, just as they can in the real world. And actually, even nice children can be nasty online. So we've got things like cyberbullying, where there's name-calling. And you know, bullying in the real world is a sort of a daylight thing. While you're at school, you're bullied if you're being bullied, but when you go home, there's a respite. With online bullying, it can happen 24/7, and that's the difference. So you can have kids goading you and saying horrible things about you all day, every day, and that's really nasty. You can also have people posing as you and sending out messages under your identity, nasty messages to other people that you never sent, so people then get a really bad impression of you. Sexting is a new thing, where children send pictures of themselves or other new children and put it online, and it all impacts on your reputation moving forward. So yeah, we need to educate our children on how to protect themselves.
Now, Nikki, in your talks, you say that that old school method of lecturing your kids, that doesn't work anymore. Why? What do you suggest we do?
Yeah, you know, when you lecture kids, they kind of just tune out. They need more conversations that matter and fewer speeches that don't. And as adults, we tend to kind of preach. I find it way more effective to actually have casual conversations around the dinner table when you're not needing to lecture them. So way before the drama hits, you need to be having just normal, relaxed conversations about what's going on. You hear stories about what's happening with kids out there. Bring it to the table so that you start doing scenario planning with your kids.
Now, these days, a lot of parents are also involved in social media and in Twitter and Facebook, and they friend their children or tweet them. Is that an invasion of privacy?
Personally, I think that if your kids are going to be out on social media, you need to be a friend on social media. You need to be there to see what's going on. I know some kids don't like it, but it almost needs to be like a house rule. It's not that you are going to be interacting necessarily, but it's almost like you're just holding the space. And if they want to interact with you, you interact back. But you don't have to be sort of in their face, just in the background.
Now, since children don't like lecturing, how do you as a parent handle it when your child is subject to cyberbullying?
Okay, so going back to lecturing, remember kids are used to 140 characters on a screen. That's what they've become used to. Now we need to speak to them or give them memorable sound bites in short little 140 characters, essentially. So the thing is that when they're young and they're in preschool, say, for example, they talked about stranger danger or fire danger. That's a good one. And they drum it into kids. Stop, drop, and roll. Stop, drop, and roll. 4 words. So instead of doing stop, drop, and roll when your kids are now young teenagers and involved in social media, it's stop, block, and tell. So if somebody's being rude to you online, sending you nasty messages, stop, don't react. Drop would be block, and most, like BBM, has a blocking feature. You need to know how to do that. Facebook has an unfriending feature. So stop communicating with them so that they can't get hold of you. And then tell somebody who can help you. That's what adults are here for. So tell a teacher, tell a parent, and then we as a team will deal with the issue.
Okay, so stop, block, and tell. Is that the golden rule?
Well, I've got 3. Stop, block, and tell. And then check yourself before you wreck yourself. So before you post anything on social media, you need to check yourself. And you need to ask yourself things like, what would my friend's dad think if they saw this picture of me? What if this made the front page news of the Sunday Times? Would I be proud of this story? So that's a nice one. Okay. And then the final one is one mind, one body, one reputation. So you only have one mind. Be careful what it sees, what you feed it, what it hears. You have one body. So stranger danger. Would you pick up lifts with strangers? It's the same on the internet superhighway. You know, there's a lot of strangers out there. Are they really your friend? And then you've got one reputation. The minute you start your first social media profile, you are developing your digital online reputation. You need to protect that because it's going to follow you for your whole life. In fact, a nice analogy would be that your social media profile is like a tattoo. If you had a tattoo on your face right now, how difficult would it be to get rid of that?
Some valuable advice. Thank you, Nikki.
The internet is a world of possibility and constantly evolving. Take the time to educate yourself and keep the holidays fun and safe.